Hello, hello, welcome back to Live Vibe Coding with Will Melton. I am coming at you live from Channel RVA Annex, aka my home office. It is 10:02 on Sunday. And we're going to be doing some fun stuff with you guys today. Yesterday, you watched me build a game layer, both games and gamification, into Channel RVA. We didn't launch that yet because we still have a little bit to go. But in the time since we've been together yesterday, I've expanded this into what's going to be a game layer for bars and restaurants, and a way to drive engagement for Channel RVA, and a way to drive foot traffic to those establishments. So we're going to be doing a lot of interesting stuff today. I've got a pretty big build plan in store for you, but we'll take a look at what we built yesterday. As a reminder, this is a Channel RVA production, so I will just pop over to another screen and show you. I'm checking out RVA art here. If you're not familiar with that, that's channelrva.com/RVA-art. And I'm going to be adding some new art to this today. We might do that in some downtime between prompts and the build. But this is one of the things that you can find over there. This is the source of our music here in the background. And we're going to get into it. But before I do, I just want to take you to studio.willmelton.com, where you can follow along on my journey to build 52 apps in 2026. One app a week is the goal, but I am ahead of schedule. So it is very likely that I will be exceeding this goal about mid-year. So some point in June, I will have hit the goal, and I will cease to do these sessions, I believe, because they eat up my weekends. But I like it. It's fun. It's a prolific time for me, and I get to learn and explore and expand my thinking. But you can see everything that I've built over here. There's a couple of new ones that we'll add, including the games that we built in yesterday. We're going to count that as one app. The new app today I'm going to build is going to be inside of Channel RVA, but it's going to be a slightly different beast, and so that will get its own place on this as well. But without further ado, what I will do is go into Lovable and open up the Channel RVA project. And first thing I'm going to do is take a look at the roadmap. So I'm going to go into the admin. If you were with me yesterday, you saw this. This is something that I do on a starting basis. I just switched over to dark mode there for you guys. So my roadmap should have some things in here. RV Bingo. Get that guy going. So my product roadmap helps me assemble sprints that we can automatically execute in sequence. So multiple tasks, we're prompting it all at once. This is just one task. But let's talk a little bit about the motivation for the game, and let me show you what we built yesterday. So I don't know how much of this you were able to see. We'll let this refresh here, but and if you're hanging out with me today and you have questions or you want to share some ideas, please feel free. Share it in the chat. I will see it and I will chat along. All right, so the gamification. So there's a lot here. I think I might need to build some new administrative layers in here, but essentially what I've done is I have all these different badges that we've set up that are part of the system. We have our referrals. We are tracking our interactive campaigns. We have our trivia set up. We have turf wars established. No events, but there's some work there in the background happening automatically to pit neighborhoods against each other. No sponsors yet, but we'll add some. All the street cred rules, so how you collect points throughout the ecosystem, and we'll expand that as we expand the layer today. micro neighborhoods. So there are a lot of neighborhoods in Richmond, and there's a lot of micro neighborhoods that may not be big enough to compete, but they could be collectively gathered together in a particular place. So I think what I'm going to probably do is create a map inside of this that we can show people where the neighborhoods are. But for now, that's more work than I have time to do today. So just something that I could do. Restaurant corrections here. And then I think the thing that I'm missing is like some kind of administrative view that kind of is my home for games and gamification. And so I'm going to give a quick prompt here to Lovable to add a roadmap item. I need to add a roadmap item to give us like a dashboard for games and gamification. I don't have any data views. I don't have any quick actions. I don't have any visibility of the different games that are deployed inside the system. I just have a bunch of individual views, but no home for the admin. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about the games and the way that it works. I'll show you on the front end because it's actually the better way to go. This isn't released yet, so we'll push this out today. But let me take you into games. And I'm going to just talk to Lovable here briefly. When I'm clicking on games in the menu, there's nothing about that stands out. It's the same old boring flat button that you see throughout the interface. And so what I want to do is give it the cyber vibes and give it the font that games has and make that fun. So okay. Anyway, so we have games. We have the leaderboard. Nobody signed up for this yet, so I'm the only person on the leaderboard with street cred, but I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see what badges are available, and I think I want to do something else. We'll play today's trivia. I want to make sure that every place in games where there's a headline, we are using the proper games font. Also, I don't have a way to engage in this trivia. There's no way to answer the question. Broken.
For independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
So after we were together yesterday, I took off and went around town and took some pictures of some murals for RVA Art. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I was just taking a look at my controls and making sure that we were good to go. But in any event, I was out some restaurants, having some food and some beverages, and a lot of these places have TVs up on the wall, and some of them are tapped into different broadcast networks to provide entertainment. But I thought, what fun would it be if we could bring that into um, a really hyper local experience? And so that's something that I can uniquely do, and I've thought through the process for that. So I'll go into Claude and just kind of take you down the work plan. So I'll open it up in Google here so you can see this. So this is essentially a few different elements to this. There's the shared game state that lives between the TV screen and the phone. We have to have a device, we have to have a computer for these TVs to connect to. So we're going to be coding a Raspberry Pi to connect to our website, to get Wi-Fi to connect to the application. And it's a very, very simple application. It's just going to be porting our website through to the TV screen and providing the compute to do that. So it's going to be pretty lightweight stuff. It's just a website at the end of the day, but we want to make it so that there's a little bit of setup, very, very little setup for the restaurants and the bars. We're going to run a schedule of games so that we have sort of a way for us to control what games are being played at any given time. We want to make it hands off for the restaurants. They don't need to do anything but turn it on. And if they want to set their prizes that they make available on the night or for the game or whatever we want to do there, that is something that they can do. And then we can do things like, give people the schedule of games that are going to happen on our website and show them where different bars have prizes that you can compete for. And maybe even show them what the specials are for that place that day if the bar is doing that element. A bunch of different games in here that we've set up. We're going to do some price games. We're going to do some photo rounds. We'll do some. I probably won't do name that tune. I don't particularly care about. Well, I guess we could do that. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get that incorporated. Backlog that. Confessional. This is weird, but it could be interesting. We'll see. Single spotlight. Today's prize. Venue spotlight, news ticker, game promos, ad breaks, video content. So basically, the name of the game here from a business perspective is to get butts in seats for restaurants. That's what's going to make this subscription worthwhile for them. We're going to have to trial it with some restaurants, beta test, but we'll have a lot of different ways that this will bring people into the Channel RVA ecosystem, which is the whole goal of what I'm trying to do. What we're doing with Channel RVA is building an audience from scratch. And while we have 102 subscribers today or something like that, it's more than that, but confirmed subscribes. We are watching that, and we are introducing mechanisms to be able to increase our subscriber growth. And so the way that we can do that is by putting Channel RVA in front of more people and connecting them to the information that exists on this. And so restaurants are our vehicle to do that. And so we create this ecosystem that is shared, and we build together. So our creators are part of the ecosystem. The restaurants and venues are part of the ecosystem. This is all local stuff. And I'd like to say that it is probably something that nobody else is doing. So that's what makes it fun for me. Venue coding so that you know what venue players are playing at. can read through what all this stuff is, but basically just taking a look at the revenue model. We'll probably adjust things a little bit as we go here, but there is a revenue model for both bars and restaurants, as well as I can earn revenue from premium players, and we'll navigate this a little bit before we go. But if you figure this out and do the math at this rate, we can have some decent revenue coming into the business. So this is hypothetical, and obviously we would have to hustle to sell into this many venues, but that's the work. Hopefully we can leverage the story behind the build here to be able to make restaurants and bars curious. We have some connections in the industry, so we can leverage that to be able to kind of break into a couple of restaurant groups, perhaps. Let's see what's happening over here. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prompt this for something else. Let's do this. So I am going to have you build another plan that is strictly for Lovable so that we can build a product roadmap that is comprehensive, that gets us to having all of this done. What I want to do is build the interface for the bars and restaurants first. So I want to see the login experience of when I first get to channelrva.com/play. I'm looking at a QR code that I can scan, and when I scan that QR code, I'm prompted to log in and type a code that shows up on the TV screen or something like that, some way of connecting so that we can show. Okay, sorry, I just sent a quick message. All right, so what the TV screen experience is going to be like. I want to start to build out the different layers, like the welcome screen that has a fun kind of Channel RVA Games vibe, the retro sort of cyber vibes with some kind of animated welcome screen that just kind of you might see when loading Netflix or YouTube or anything like that, but with some kind of spinning animation, some kind of life, some kind of energy, and then once we get into it, it's going to be playing whatever stream is happening on schedule. And so we don't have anything yet to be showing there, but we can start with the ticker and get that built in so we can see what that looks like, and the venue code and sort of the static elements, the lower third. Maybe we've got some elements that we use from RVA art, like the slide and subscribe thing, could be something that we bring into this just as another way to leverage what we already have built. That's something that Lovable knows exists, so just trust that it's there. Anyhow, give me a work plan for Lovable so that we can get this wired up today.
I love music. Die einzige App, die du brauchst für Nonstop Dance und DJ-Musik in the Mix. Jetzt neu? Mit Tomorrowland One World Radio. Der offizielle Tomorrowland-Radiosender. 24/7 in the Mix.
Live today. Love tomorrow. Unite forever.
Tomorrowland every day. In der I Love Music App. I love chill hop.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's see where we're at with the build that we've got over here. Trivia, available badges. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, so let me go to the roadmap because I should have a new roadmap item. We'll get that games and gamification admin dashboard built so that we can see what that looks like. If you're joining me for the first time today, and you didn't join me yesterday, I was working on Channel RVA Games, which is a gamification layer. It's trivia, it's some data cleanliness activities that help us to make sure that we're getting the right information out to people. We've got some neighborhood games. We've got some event opportunities to collect points by attending events. And then we have some other things that we're going to be bringing in here. We just added bingo. Turf Wars is kind of a background game that pits neighborhoods against each other and provides people the opportunity to recruit folks and to rep the neighborhood, essentially. And then we'll introduce lots of different games here, but today what we're going to be doing is bringing in a layer that makes these games and new games available in bars and restaurants for a subscription that puts butts in seats, that gets bars and restaurants to be busier when they would be slower, to get them to be even busier when they're already going to be busy, to really maximize the time that people spend in the restaurant. And imagine breweries and sports bars and lots of places where there's an interest in a captive audience. So I'm interested in that captive audience, and the restaurants are also interested in that captive audience. And so we're going to be working to marry those two interests together with one single application that also provides really fun experiences for people who do come into those bars and restaurants. So there's a lot of planning that has gone into this, just um, racking my brain for all the different angles, iterating through Claude and talking through the different layers of the game. I have a big work plan here. I've got several different games planned out that we're going to work into it that will be exclusive to this application, to this. We're going to call it RVA Play or Games Play. I don't know what we're going to call it, but something a little bit more unique. Maybe it's going to be RVA Games Live. My neighbors have gotten two motorized scooters, electric scooters, and they're so excited to have them. Has me interested as well. Lots going on here, so we'll let that play out. But let me just think about this for a second. Once I get this thing built, I'm going to just ask this. Is there anything that's stopping us from publishing this build? Do we have everything that's in the games layer completed? Can we just do a once over check to make sure that everything's integrated, that the system works as expected, that the points are being awarded, that non-members are given a pathway to join and then also routed back into the games area when they do log in, preserving their path. Just want to see if there's anything else that might be needed before we can push this live so that all of our lovely live audience can actually go to the website and play with it themselves. Maybe find some bugs while we're in it. There's always more that will go into these plans, and we'll get them to be a little bit more defined as we think through this. Because as I look at this plan, I'm thinking about, okay, well, what's missing? Like we're going to have one of the things that I just noticed whenever I was looking at the dashboard is I have this trivia leaders by user ID. And we're going to have to make sure that we make space for people to create their profile and make sure that that's shareable. There's a security component to that, privacy component. So they'll have to have a nickname and some things like that. Thank you for commenting. I think there's a massive market for people that are AI savvy to make a lot of money building solutions for small local companies. Yes. So what I believe is the future of software. We're already seeing a lot of software and technology job layoffs because AI is able to code so much. And that's at the bigger companies where they really have a mature ecosystem. but I think that there's a giant gap in technological technology deployment in smaller businesses. And so, as those people get laid off, they are going to have ample opportunity to help small businesses to build tools and technology that help those businesses grow. And so, I mean, there's a real professional development that needs to go into this. You have to understand security, you have to understand the tech stack, you've got to be able to support it once you deploy something. You have to build a business around it. You have to build a website. You have to market it. You know, all that stuff is part of this work, but it's doable, and I think you can do a lot of it in an automated fashion before you ever get to the place where you're paying staff. You can build a lot of really great agent pools, and I do a lot of automation myself on this news site. I have the editor's desk that I spend 30 minutes, maybe not quite 30 minutes every day, making picks from the news, kind of transforming headlines into brief stories that link back to the original publisher. And we have some original content that we publish as well. So there's a lot that we build into this, and I'm always working on workflows. So we have a workflow auditor that's trying to figure out if there's more efficient ways for us to do the things that we're doing without losing quality. But as a matter of anecdote to what your conversation here is, I bought onscreengames.com today because this isn't my first time building games. I've actually built a number of games in the last couple of months, a few months. I started building a game at the end of last year and published it early this year for a client, a trade show game. So that's fun. I built a game live in front of a live audience in about 14 minutes. It was a networking game, so everybody was able to go around the room and scan each other's QR codes and gather points and see how they matched up on certain interest areas. Trying to think of what other games I've built. I've built some other games that maybe didn't have as much traction, but in any event, there's a lot of opportunity for games to be a connector, a social connector, to be a moneymaker for a business. Just a lot of different ways that games can drive engagement. And so that's what we're working on doing for our brand new 2-month-old media baby. How do we get people to know we exist? How do we get them to subscribe? And how do we get them to be engaged with all of the content that we've built? And it's a robust platform, and Channel RVA is really designed to connect the people who live in this community to this community, whether it be through news stories or local events, exclusive events for subscribers. We're doing a fundraiser right now to be able to give money to the Browns Island renovation. It's a $10 million project. Our $5,000 is going to be a drop in the bucket, but it's a way for us to get people to come over and subscribe. We tell you what to eat every day. We tell you what the weather is and what to do with it. We tell you about, we bring in other media creators. So there's a lot of different people who are making things in this community, a lot of creativity. So we've got authors. We have ads, obviously. We have our original content. I actually wanted to click into this because I should have a different show as my first episode on the home page. So anyway, a lot here, and this has been an evolution. I've been building this for several months now, bringing in people that I know who create media. We have some really creative people in our orbit, and so we let folks become contributing authors and producers and artists, and pull in podcasts and videos. Goodness, there's a lot here. So my RVA is the place where people go to kind of curate their experience, see their games, see their different things that they've collected. They can build a schedule of things to do and share that with their friends. They can build a mural tour with the murals around town. If you weren't here earlier, I have RVA Art Run in the background. This is a platform that tells you about local art in the community. It's just a little screensaver for the TV. So anyway, thank you. Appreciate the comments and for hanging out, asking questions. That's what we're here for. Let's see what this says. The restaurant statuses are, believe, are set to closed, not open. So we would be including all and excluding closed. I mean, we could even include permanently closed restaurants just to put it in there as historical record. Maybe not. We don't have to. Thanks. Have a good one. Take care. All right. I wonder how many times I say that when I'm doing this. It's my transition word. Plans on plans on plans. If you live in the Richmond region and you're not a subscriber of Channel RVA, I highly recommend signing up. You can do that right here. You will get access to exclusive events like our first Friday block party this coming Friday. So, hey, Michael, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. These events are growing in size. And I'm excited to get you guys in here. I'm going to get 100 people to show up to this event one way or another. We are working to build our audience and to connect people to the city they love. So, fixing a couple of things before we ship the games layer that we started building yesterday. We're going to take this live so that you guys can go and play with it today. And then we're going to start to build on the plan that we have coming up for the live games layer. So, you can't build endlessly without finding a pathway to revenue. I'm a very patient person, so I don't have to make revenue right away if I have time to devote to things and I can leverage my skills to make something happen. But as you know, I'm building a lot of things, and if they're not going to be used, it's not very productive use of compute or time. So what I'm doing is in the back of my mind as I build things, I think about, how could it earn revenue if it were a viable business? Because we need to create a value chain, a value proposition that buyers, that users actually will pay for. And that's difficult. It's, we're doing something here. I mean, the news subscription is totally free. And that's fine. We have to keep doing it every day. Every day I'm telling you guys what's happening here. And so these are real investments that are being made, but the value of this doesn't really exist until we have a sizable subscriber base. And so a lot of what I'm doing now is building that up so that we can create that total value for advertisers. And there's going to be a buzz element to all of this that we want to introduce that is there's a flywheel effect, and we've got to build that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep building here since we've stopped. What I'm going to do is I'm going to publish. I just promised that I was going to do this. And while that's publishing, I'll go ahead and start our build here. And I'll start to talk to my agent. So I have a plan to build several games and create a new experience for live gameplay, I need to make sure that this is separate from games and gamification. The point system, the engagement can be integrated. The user data can be shared, but I want to have a separate section in the admin sidebar that has all of this together because it is a different element. It's a different subscription model. It's a different experience altogether. And there's going to be a real push to reach our goals around getting bars and restaurants to subscribe to this and to get it turned on so that we can actually make it a viable um, system. There needs to be enough players to make it scale. I mean, it should be enough even if we have just one restaurant. But anyhow, let's add all this to the product roadmap, giving consideration to any games and things that we've already wired up, like trivia and all of that. Eventually, we'll load the system with a backlog of trivia so that we're not having to add new stuff every single day, but we can leverage daily trivia to drive some of the other parts of the game for the live experience. I think what we'll do is call this live games in the admin sidebar. And when we go to build out the interface, we can just leverage the same font and design of the games interface, like the vibe, the retro sort of cyber vibe. But we can tag it with like a label that says live, and maybe it shimmers or something like that. I don't know, just some kind of extra element, but leveraging kind of that same branding across. So always, 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 I am putting bigger chunks of work into the product roadmap so that I can have a successful execution, and the lovable agent has a clear direction on what it's supposed to be doing. But in the meantime, you will now be able to go to channelrva.com and see games. It is here now. I don't see my design effects being applied over there, but let me just do this. I had asked previously to treat the RVA Games, Channel RVA Games menu item in the mega menu with a cyber vibe that's on brand with the rest of the games area using the right fonts and everything else. I do not see that that was ever affected. So to just follow on what I was saying before, I always put things in the product roadmap that are bigger builds, but if I'm making tweaks to something that's already been built, generally speaking, I'm not going to put another roadmap item in there. It's not that big of a thing. I think my purpose for the roadmap is to make sure that we have proper documentation, that we have proper guidance for the application to know what our intentions are. That's what the roadmap is supposed to do. So these things don't really help us to have them in the roadmap. They just create noise. But I'll let that queue up so that we can let that ride. But if you are a subscriber, or if you are interested in creating an account so that you can play games and start to collect points, head over to channelrva.com and you'll be able to see games in the menu. And if you're so ambitious, I will see those points start to accumulate over on my dashboard. I won't be offended if you don't. I have plenty to do today. It'll be the true test to see. You all will find out whether or not anybody's actually watching me. Okay. Letting the build to the product roadmap accumulate. There might be some things here. Yep, we're starting to see lots of build functions. I don't know. I'm probably going to need to top up credits again after all of this building. I think I had 600 yesterday. But that's okay. My credits reset, I believe, on the 4th. And I'll get a whole batch of 2,000 or 3,000. I don't know how many I get each month. I've forgotten. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. It really took me seriously when I told it to use the font for that everywhere. Oh, I see it. Still misunderstood what I was talking about. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Sweet. All right. Now we'll go to the product roadmap and we'll grab a sprint. I don't need that. I need this. I built a clarity scanner on this that is supposed to tell us whenever the tasks don't have enough information to be built properly, but I have come to eliminate that step from my process because it just isn't necessary. I have high success with the approach without the clarity scan. So we'll just start to build this guy out. Let me see what we have. TV screen shell, player join flow. It's price redemption system, admin sidebar section. So in order for this to work, we're going to have a bunch of stuff wired up in here. We're going to have an admin dashboard that controls all of these different games, all the data, all the restaurants and subscriptions and prices and permissions and all that stuff. I mean, this is a pretty sizable thing that we do now by adding payments into the system. But I'm not in a rush. I get my Raspberry Pi tomorrow. We still have to code that, but I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there's about 10 lines of code that will go into making that work. So it's going to be a pretty simple build. Just got to get the hardware and test it. So testing's first. We can maybe find a couple of places to put it live in and see how it goes, see how the gameplay works. Just make sure that things are bug free. There's always bugs when we build these things, so we do have to test things.
You're tuned into Channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators.
Please change the order to match an efficient build. That should happen automatically in the sprint assembly, but I guess that didn't happen. Okay, and let me publish this now because I wanted to get that games thing looking vibrant on the menu for my new arrivals. You'll be able to find that. I always think of things when I look at this stuff. I would do this or change that. There's always something going on that you gotta touch up. Always something. Okay. if you do represent a business or you know a business that's interested in getting in front of an audience that is engaged, send them our way. There's some opportunities to become an advertiser there, and we're new to market, so we have some opportunities to be flexible and to get some initial advertising packages that are discounted for some of our early adopters. But, lots going on in this ecosystem that we're building, and we're really working hard to connect folks in the community. AC confirmation. It's AC confirmation. Confirmation. Just build it. I'm going to go a little bit past 11 o'clock today, but not too much because I have some other events to attend. This is not a small build, but I don't think it's going to be giant either because we have some of the foundation already in place. We probably won't get to the point of building out the subscription engine, but we will at least be able to see what it looks like and get a feel for the entire experience. Always have things to build. I've got some things in the background that are cooking. I've got some new images that I could be editing and uploading to the RVA art, which maybe I'll go do that now. I've got these images on my phone. So I'm gonna see if I can't find one that we can populate over there. When I was in high school, I took journalism class and was on the newspaper staff. And I was also in the yearbook staff for a couple of years and was the business editor. I took photography. I took, let's see, what else did I take? E-commerce. And so all of the classes that I took in high school ended up being sort of the foundation for a lot of what I do today and what motivates my work. And it's not something that I really realized in the beginning. It's just something that emerged for me later in life. I was like, oh wait, I've been building stuff that is really in line with you know, all the things that I did in high school. So it's been an interesting journey to learn that that is what my kind of the through line for my life. It's been pretty interesting. So as I think about what we're doing now, building out Channel RVA is very, very much a full circle thing. And as you know, the there's just not a lot of media companies that are crushing it these days. We know it's a cutthroat business. It's all about attention. How do you garner that from people? And it's a very busy world, and so it's really difficult to know what the answers are to those questions. But I'm convinced that it's worth it to try because the world's changing, and you just never know what's going to happen. So might as well go out into the world with ambition and make something new, make something different, see if you can turn some heads. I think it's working. A growing body of subscribers to this system that we're building. I have original content that we're producing, including this show, that we have active live attendees and follow-up viewers post session. Those are just a couple of indicators. But we have keep hacking away. I one today that I really don't. I need to know more about this artist. I found it yesterday. It's like a mural. It's a sculpture of bicycle wheels, and it's going to take me asking around a little bit to get to the answer. I think I can post it on social. See who comes around. We do want to make sure we give our artists credit, so that's one of the things that we're constantly trying to achieve. Is what's that? Where's this come from? This build is going to take a while, so I'm going to let that bang out while I send a couple of these photos over for you guys to take a look at. I'll flip through them so you can get a little bit of an advance preview of what that looks like.
It's 11 o'clock.
And there's my 1 hour mark. I got some pretty interesting angles on my this mural that I saw yesterday, and I'm trying to figure out which one I want to post, if I want to get sort of this super dramatic upward angle, or if I want to try to get something that's a little bit further away that shows how big this thing is. It's massive.
Independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
I think we got to do the one that's from a distance. Okay. Next up for me, get some breakfast because I have not eaten today. I had lots of coffee, but not anything in the way of food. So let me see if I have any other murals that I've got. I think that was the first one. I got a little picture of me and my lovely bride in front of a DK mural the other day. But that won't go on. So I'll flip through these so you can take a look at what we're going to be loading up there. This is inside of Blue Habanero.
I love chill hop.
This is what you'd
It's a
think.
break.
It's Lucky AF. This is also in
Die
Scott's Edition.
kostenlose Streaming-App für Charts,
Also in
Dance,
Scott's Edition.
Hip-Hop und Throwback.
Also in Scott's
Unsere neue
Edition. This is all the
Playlist
same
ist
big
immer live
parking lot.
gestreamt. Mit I Love Radio und vielen weiteren Non-Stop-Music
Another one.
Channels.
That's the big bird. And that's it. That's what I've got. That's what we'll be loading today. Please continue. So we'll need to make sure that these tasks flip over to in review before we assemble the next sprint. So that's one thing that I want to make sure happens. But these context windows, sometimes 8 tasks just isn't going to be enough. The Live Games Hub, the Live Games Hub is a junk page. It doesn't actually have anything on it that's useful, so we need to make sure that that is updated for the admin, not just a roadmap. Or maybe we just need to scrap it if we have the rest of the plans in place to finish. Cool. I'll preserve that task. Just text it. If you're building proper admin controls, we should be able to define things like products and prices, and options and accessibility to the features that exist in here. For the WebSocket real-time broadcast transport, that should have been in the product roadmap. If it wasn't, let's go ahead and add it. I have other items that we haven't added yet, that we haven't started working on yet, so I just want to make sure that we're not missing those things. I said before, maybe you don't remember, one of the big goals for today is to be able to actually test the TV experience. So that's our priority. Let's make sure the roadmap reflects it. the crazy thing about this stuff is that just how fast it develops, like not the code itself, but the ideas. Like as you start working on these things, one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, and it's just the ideas flood in. And the next thing I know, I have a massive ecosystem of information in my brain, a map of games, back end, front end, interactivity, subscription business model. How do we actually make it valuable for the different stakeholders in the value chain? All that stuff for me. I think I might have thought yesterday about the interactive layer of bringing it to bars. Wasn't sure exactly how I was going to do the whole thing, but figured it out a little bit more with some time this morning with regard to like the Raspberry Pi build that I'm going to have to do to get that to work. So in any event, I'm started with that. Okay, so what hardware do we need to make it work? What's a viable business model that we think could work? What's a way that people are actually going to want to engage? And what games, are going to be fun? Or, if we were to do this, can we find a pathway to real tangible revenue? Can we create enough value that players would actually want to pay for it? And that's why, I think we must have a freemium model, not a just pay premium model. Let's see. Let me answer this question. Is player identity for test? What I want to be able to test today is a venue navigating to channelrva.com/play, where they are shown their QR code to log into the application and get the stream running. That is my number one goal, is to be able to see just after they've connected. I'm not worried about the Raspberry Pi functionality quite yet. I just want to see what the on-screen visuals are going to look like. I think the tiers that you have are right, but keep in mind for the venues, we're going to have a multi-location functionality. I don't know if that made it into the roadmap, but we should update it to reflect it if it doesn't. Venues are going to have about a $500, $499 per location fee, but if they have multiple locations with the same brand, maybe it's going to be slightly less per location. And if it's a multi-brand restaurant group, maybe it's a little bit more per location, but not exceeding the $500 per month. And the value aspect there is that within the application, we promote the brand's other restaurant groups, or the restaurant group's other brands or other locations. It's a lot easier to promote just a list of locations if it's a multi-location single branded group. But if it's a multi-brand group, you kind of want to promote each brand individually. So that's the thinking behind that. As far as the individual players go, player free, player premium. I think we had set the prices at $4.99 per month for the premium players. There should also be trial for all of these, 30-day trial at a minimum. It might be that we need to have a contract for the businesses, but I think we'll introduce that later. If you wanted to create the Stripe products, you can do that. Okay, so back to the games dashboard. You guys want to start playing Channel RVA Games, you can do that now. See what it's all about. it will be right there for you. If you're not logged in, let me just see what's going to happen if we do that on a incognito. Yeah. I just noticed that the subscriber pop-up for the website is not showing the active fundraising status. The subscriber pop-up isn't showing the active fundraiser status. It doesn't show the accumulation of funds properly. All right, giving that a little side quest here because I've got a live build that I want to make sure we can show people. On the games homepage, I want to put the Channel RVA icon to the left of that, and maybe we can give it a little animation to accompany the animation of the game's fonts shift, just to make sure that it's properly branded with the Channel RVA icon, even though we're not going to say Channel RVA, the words. What I'll do is see if we can get this to work so that we can actually see what /play looks like. And probably won't have any games running in there, but the ticker could be going. Some of the different pieces that are going to be part of that interface should be able to be played. This is cool. I'm going through the experience to demo Channel RVA, and I think you're confused about what I'm looking for. I'm not a player, I'm a venue. And I cannot see anything that gets typed into the text boxes because the letters are white for some reason. Um, the QR code covers up stuff on the screen. You've got a lot of weird stuff going on here that doesn't make sense. I think we need to make sure that it says Games Live, not Channel RVA Live. But the first thing I need to demo is the actual screen that the venue is going to open so that the gameplay can be playing on their screen. I don't want to see a QR code for the player to join because the TV is going to be too far away. We can occasionally show the QR code large so they can join quickly, but the point is they can see the join at the bottom, the URL code. The code needs to move over to be next to the directions to play the game. The game doesn't start when host says go. The games are continuously playing. We need to make sure that we're not building. I don't need a splash page for the demo. What I really need is the experience for the venue to be able to start the game on their TV in their location. That's the goal. A lot of feedback there, but whatever. Let me see what we have here, the live. I want to be sure that we haven't lost sight of the business case on this build because it's important that what we're building is going to meet our expectations in the end. So for instance, we're going to have a schedule that dictates when games are being broadcast and everybody gets the same thing. It's not, the schedule runs the same for all venues. Ads vary and some of the on-screen content varies per location, but the schedule is always the same.
You're tuned into Channel RVA. The
We
media
also
hub
have
for
to make sure
independent
that
Subscribe at Channel
that
RVA.
schedule is leveraged as a front-end component, that people know what is happening in town. They know what games are being played when. They know what venues are engaged in those games. Let's see. The goal is to make it so that venues have very little work to do. They just turn the TV on, log in, and they have previously selected what games they're going to play and when. They've previously indicated what prizes are available for gameplay in any given day. They've indicated their additional locations and venues. They've indicated any specials that are available at that location. We want to make it super duper easy for them to be participants here. What I want to do is for any of the outstanding roadmap items that we haven't built that is related to this, make sure that we get these goals wired into those details. And then also, if there's missing roadmap items that we need to add based on what I've shared with you, let's go ahead and get those added in. We need to consider the admin experience to be able to control all this, the venue manager experience, the player experience, front end, back end, whole nine. This is taking too long. I guess I'm not burning through as many credits as I thought I was. Push that up.
Sunniest Playlist Update ever. Check unsere neue Super Sunny Playlist von I Love the Sun.
In the bottom of the live TV screen view, we still show Channel RVA Live. I do not want to see that. What I want to see is the Channel RVA icon, like you have it, Games, with the font and the digital shifting CSS, and then Live with the shimmer label. That might be a little bit too much, but I want to see it anyway. And that fundraiser thing is really killing me. I just lost a task. Son of a bitch. All right. This is so frustrating. Let's do this. I need to be sure that you are familiar with the business case that we have here, and specifically that we're going to run a schedule that is playing all the time for all users. All venues are going to have the same thing. What I'm noticing is that the Channel RVA HQ demo does not work. I can't see the text that I type into the box where it asks me to type in the code. It's the text in those boxes is white, so I can't see it. And then I can't click the lock me in button once I type in my nickname, and nothing happens. It just stuck. I don't want a demo of some half-assed build. What I want is to actually go through the experience of being a venue, scanning the code, typing in my code, and playing the player. I haven't been able to get to the place of playing the player yet because you're confused about what our objective is. /play is the URL that the venues go to begin streaming the game. Every venue has the same game streaming all the time. They've already predefined all of the things that matter for them, what their other locations are, what their other brands are, what their specials are that night, what the prizes are that the gameplay is about. So I'm imploring you to update your knowledge of the business case for this and make sure that my experience actually works, because I'm not able to get this to work. I need to have a venue code, which I think is RVA001, but that's not appropriate. I just need a number. I just need a simple 4-digit number that people can type in. But I have to get to, my goal is to get to being able to view the live gameplay. So make sure that any outstanding roadmap items that aren't finished have the business case detailed. The other thing I'm noticing is that this page is, the layout of it's not great because the QR code's so big that it covers up text on the screen. And the code should be to the right of the join link. It shouldn't be on the left-hand side where the games icon is. And I don't want the Richmond logo, the Channel RVA logo, to pulse. I don't ever want it to be light in color. I want it to always be prominent. So a couple of changes to this page. Make sure that you have clarity of the direction, and then I need to make sure that all the product roadmap items are updated. If there's any missing roadmap items based on these details, please add it. All right, I'm at time today, guys, so I'm going to let this go, and we will pick back up next weekend. I'm going to push this out to actually demo it. I'm sorry I couldn't actually show the live play because I just don't know what URL that is, and I need to actually be properly configured or properly authenticated, but just a lot that, that venue not found. But we'll come back at it. So thanks for hanging out with me. Got a lot further than I thought, and I didn't even burn that many credits. I probably burned 50 or so. So we still have more to go. Getting there. Thanks for joining me. We will see you next weekend. Saturday at 1 p.m. is going to be my next stream time. And follow me on studio.willmelton.com if you are so inclined, or subscribe at channelrva.com to see this show and many others, all for the Richmond region. And with that, I'm signing off. Thank you, guys.